Okay, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Today at PsychSpace, we are coming up with a new webinar that is related to effective parenting strategies for children's emotional well-being, and we all welcome you as the audience, and we also welcome the speaker, that is Ritika Agarwal, which is a psychologist. She's a founder of Hope Through Talk. She's also a lecturer at Royal Global University, and she's also an advisor at Arena Animation. So Ritika, we welcome you at PsychSpace webinar today.
Thank you. Hello. Firstly, I would really like to thank PsychSpace for having me today here. It's been a great opportunity to speak about this topics, which is a great need I feel in the current situations, because usually people are more fond of knowing their physical health, and now I have seen people taking care of your mental health, but something known as emotional health is of course at play. So the topic is of great interest, and thank you for PsychSpace coming with such topics, interesting topics, so that our population can be more aware of the things which are in
Yes.
great need now. Yeah.
Yes, true, Ritika. So, without any delay, we will start with our discussion, and our speaker is with us. So, definitely, we will gain more information about emotional well-being. So, which is basically a topic which are not which is basically untouched by everyone, right? So, Ritika, may can we know or let our audience know what the word emotional well-being mean actually? Like what a layman person can understand.
Okay. Before like seeing into a scientific terminology, I would really like to say emotional well-being is not something which is can be explained by using some kind of definition or research or something. In everyday. It's being used in everyday life. Even if you are not seeing it in a practical form or terminology being used, emotional well-being. Of course, words like quality of life, wellness is being simultaneously used by the population, which is something more or less related to emotional well-being. So what kind of emotions we can produce, the moods, the thoughts which are in a constructive and a positive form, this is known as emotional well-being. You can also say it as emotional health when we say in terms of children, when a child emotional development start taking place, say more or less around 4 to 5 years, the child is fit to understand emotions. So emotional health has been recognized at time. That means acknowledging one's emotions as well as others. If I am sad, the child is sad. He or she can make a distinction that I am also sad, she is also sad. So this kind of acknowledging each other feelings and emotions is basically known as emotional well-being, where a person or a child can acknowledge his or her feelings into a more positive way, can produce positive thoughts, moods, emotions, is being able to share his or her feelings, making his or her feelings validated, feeling that I am having someone support or I have someone to listen to. This we term as emotional well-being.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. It is one of the most important development of a child, right? So
Very
when we
much.
see emotional well-being. So, so Ritika, like how can, as we talk about parents are the direct agents when
Yeah.
they deal with their kids. So, like, how can a parent strike a balance between setting up the boundaries as well as fostering independence in their child? Because they are always tense. Either they will be very much protective about their child, and either they will try to let them grow in such a way so that they are independent. So how a parent can actually balance up in that field?
Yeah. Coming back, like if we see the scenario of our Indian culture, tradition culture, it has been seen most of the parents do follow, either some are too strict or either some are very permissive, right? So, in order to have a look on or check on a balance between how a parent can strike a balance between enforcing rules as well as giving independence to the child, first, I believe that parents should know the different strategies or parenting styles which they are being following, right? So in psychology we usually see there are four kinds of parenting style. One is authoritarian, then we say authoritative, third is permissive, and the last is neglectful. So which is being mostly used, or which we as a psychologist we feel that it's best fit for a child's development, is authoritative. So here what we do, we mix two parenting styles, right? Authoritarian styles as well as the permissive style. Now neglectful is something which you are not being aware of your child's emotion and not being addressed to his or her needs or something. Authoritarian, whereby you enforce strict rules, strict disciplines, you are not allowing your child to explore, take decisions, or hold the autonomy, if we say. And permissive is something you are just allowing your child to do whatever he or she likes, and not being keeping a keen observation towards him. So in authoritative, we follow both the authoritarian and permissive disciplines together. So I feel before balancing the strike, it is very important the parent know about the parenting strategies. So once the parent know what the parenting strategies and what he or she is being following, they already got a overall look how the things can be implemented with that, right? So like instead of giving them close supervision, they are addressing clear rules to them. They are discussing the consequences beforehand. Like say for example, if you don't get ready by 8 a.m. in the morning, you will miss the bus. Now it's up to the child what are the activities he or she is going to plan to do in the morning part, so that he or she does not miss the bus. I have seen a lot of people, basically in Indian society, they have similar complaints like, my child does not eat vegetables, green vegetables, or something very often, right? So now
Yes.
so I have to sit and like force him to eat. I have to feed him or her to make him eat the green vegetables. But it's not the case. If you really want to make your child autonomic to make his or her own decisions in life, you also need to get involved in the activities your child do. Like say for example, you can make your child add into the grocery shopping list, or you can just say that today on like on every Wednesday we will eat green vegetables. Now the choice is of the child what green vegetable he or she will like to pick.
Yeah.
And if you are cooking, you can just give him small age appropriate activities to do. So once the child is involved physically, mentally, emotionally in that activity, it will be very easier for a parent to make a balance between rules and helping the child to enjoy, as well as taking his or her own decisions. So this way he will be able to label what kind of vegetables will be good for his or her health, able to make decisions what kind of meals are appropriate for his good health. So these are the few ways we can reinforce this parenting styles. Then communicating in the right time is very important. We often see parents usually uh, say or scold them in front of people, or they will just shout. This kind of things are actually not very appreciated. If you know what your child's personality and their mechanisms or their functionality is, and if you get the right time to communicate with them and to give them reasons why this thing has been done in that way, I feel the balance will be maintained in a more appropriate manner. So instead of enforcing rules, reasoning logically, and giving them a scope of a room to develop or discuss consequences beforehand, or by encouraging them to use routinized labels and disagreeing with them, but also at the same time fighting in a fair manner, which eventually bring the balance between the disciplinary measures as well as the independence of taking decisions. Also, there is one thing that people say. Hello, is the
Yeah, yeah.
connection?
Yes, it's going on.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So it's not something a people like a person or a parent will do in just one day. So it's a gradual process. It has to be started with the early age. It has to be consistent. And of course, it has to be established in such a manner that the whole household is doing so. So if the father is switching off the TV at 10, and you expecting your child to go bed at 9 p.m., it's not something your child will be doing, because child learn a lot by observing their parents or their teachers. So establishing household rule is very important if the parent wishes to have a disciplinary measure as well as independence in the child.
True, Ritika, definitely. I totally agree with what you have explain to our audience. And it's definitely true that we need to give our child, or parents need to give their child an environment which will help them grow, as well as balancing everything all together. And whatever they will do it now, it will affect in their later on life, basically. So it's important for the parents to take all the awareness, or seep into all the knowledge what is available for their child, because childhood is basically a crucial stage of development where they learn. And observation, thoroughly observation is one of the things they learn. Most of the things, like from their sibling or from their cousins, they learn most of the thing. Parents, when parents fight, so these are the most common things that we see. And through this, emotional well-being can be developed. Yeah. so
Definitely.
uh, so coming to the next question, basically. Uh, when we talk about active listening, so what can be like, or what role does active listening play in understanding and addressing child's emotion?
Okay. So, as we all know, that communication is just not saying things. So, communication also involves listening. Now, active
Hmm.
listening is not just mere listening to your child. It requires a lot of undivided attention, or you may say you have to just tuning in with the child's thoughts and emotions. So you address each and everything. It's not just verbal, but their body language, their non-verbal clues, whatever they say as a whole. So there are a lot of things which active listening can play a role. While they can strengthen the relationship between the parent and the child, it can help to develop a compassionate relationship, or it may help a self of belongingness, a shelf of warmth, nurturing, and of course the development of the child. But there are three things I really want to address, which is very important. And if a parent adopts active listening, I feel the child will learn these things better. So first is empathy. So we all know empathy is something where we understand the emotions of others by putting ourselves into their shoes. So this is something a child learns in the last stage of their emotional development, because this is something very complex and a child takes time to learn. So when a parent or a guardian does active listening, they are eventually making them learn empathy. So basically, they are empathizing with the child, and this eventually leads the child to learn that their feelings are validated. And in the similar manner, they will be also going to do the same thing when they encounter some similar situations. Like, say, for an example, a child keeps on crying, and because his brother or any classmate took a toy from him. Now if the mother is doing some household activity, or the dad is in busy with doing some his work or something, they might show that they are listening to the child. Maybe he just ran up to his mother or father and talking that papa mummy usne mera toy le liya and all. They are just nodding their head, but this is not something active listening plays or gives emphasis on, because you are just being listening that time, where your child is not feeling that their feelings are validated. That time, if just small changes will give a big impact. So like, say for example, 2 minutes if they can spare, and they can just reflect to the child by giving an eye contact, or by just touching their arm, or say acha okay, this kind of reflections, I feel they will feel that okay, I have someone to listen to. My feelings are also validated. I am hurt, but I can rely on my parents to share my feelings. So this is how empathy can be learned, by active listening.
Yeah, yeah.
Second is reflection. So I feel it's not just about mental or emotional development. A child will also learn, or say they will enhance their vocabulary when active listening is done by the parent's side. Like, say for example, if a small kid, a 2 or 3 year old kid is drawing something, and they say, see mama mama, I draw spaghetti or something like that. But now, as a speaker, you say, you draw a long spaghetti. Wow. So, in this way, you are just correcting their grammar, their vocabulary, and also you are describing detailing, such as
Yeah.
long spaghetti. So, they also learn how to use appropriate details, or enhancement of their vocabulary, their skills, how they present their thing when they are communicating. And also, last and but not the least, the child also learn how to regulate their emotion. We often see people or parents say express. No, what is wrong in expressing? But there are two different things. Expressing is different and regulation of emotion is different. By expressing, we just cannot say everything we wish for or that comes to our mind. It cannot be ethically or morally correct at times. It can be just jumping into conclusion at times. So it won't be giving us a bigger picture or to recognize or comprehend the situation very well. So if a child sees his or her parent practicing active listening, they also learn emotional regulation. Like say for example, in the first example, if the child cries because the his or her friend have taken his toy, it might not be the case. It can be the toy has gone to him by mistake, or he just wanted to play with it for a few times. So if you talk to your child by listening, oh, are you hurt because your friend took your toy? Are you upset? Are you angry? What if he or she returns the toy to you other day? So this is the way how you make your child feel calm about the situation, help them to comprehend the situation, and then regulate the emotion and to act in a practical or morally or ethical way. This is how something the child can learn emotional regulation as well.
Yeah, this is a very important topic, to be honest. Like when you were saying, I kind of like I just got reminded about one thing is that people like parents when they have like kids, for example, say years, like a difference between 3 years or 2 years. So like the firstborn and the secondborn, so the parents always have a kind of attention to the secondborn, or might be the one just born basically. So might be towards them active listening will be more, and towards the firstborn might be
Yes,
the
yes.
active listening will be really low, right? And I think we all have certain instances in our life where active listening we can remember, where our parents didn't listen to us or something, or might be like when anything happened, right? So from my perspective, if I say, it's a very important thing a parent needs to inculcate. Even if like a minute or so they need to uh, at least praise their kid, or at least listen whatever they are saying, or else they feel neglected, or they feel kind of left away, like they are somewhere else, and they feel something somewhat different to be in nature. And yeah, basically that when we say about active listening, right? So we have one question in the comment box that can technology, or how much technology can help in emotional development? Or like, as we see that kids nowadays, they are too much into technologies, like they know what is WhatsApp, what is Instagram, what is YouTube shorts, even, like they are
Yeah.
so updated with it. So can they, or like can they observe and learn something? Because just making the question a little bit long, because I have seen many reels in Instagram that there are many people, there are many professionals, might be, who are actually saying that these cartoons are not good for this, because they end up, like increasing certain behaviors. So these cartoons are not good. So what's your say on that?
Yeah. So I feel yes, technology again a boon and a bane. So it has its own limitations, it has its own benefits, right? So I feel that technology, if it is used in a proper way, it will be really very helpful for a child to regulate their emotions or say develop their emotional well-being. So the parent can be a keen observer of what kind of cartoons or what kind of channels they are watching. It's not that the reels or the shorts are always in the negative part. I have seen a lot of cartoons which says sharing things, which shows empathy. So this kind of cartoons and technology can be implemented. Then if technology is being used, clearly rules should be stated, like this particular time is your screen time. So they eventually know that this particular moment I can watch this, I can do this. And I feel if the involvement in a involvement in technology also involves the parent being present there, will also give them fruitful results. Like we also know the child, when they are in a developmental stages, they are very fascinated about the audio and the visual thing. So parents giving them audio storybooks or playing some music or taking them to such movies that shows how emotional health has been taken care of. There are a lot of movies, kids movies, which has come up. So this kind of audio visual practices, if it is done in a tech friendly or a tech useful or productive manner, I feel technology will be highly beneficial for them.
Yes, yes, true. Because nowadays, a class one kid or a class two kid, they need to be aware about technologies because obviously there are groups, there are classroom groups that are there for them, right? So, yes, observation, all of these things, these are very, very crucial in emotional development. So, we are at the end of our webinar basically, and we are like extremely in a situation where our founder, Miss Priyanka Bhattacharjee, she was able to join, but due to certain uncertain situations, she couldn't. So we feel the absence of ma'am definitely, and we hope we could have her in our next webinar because every week we try to bring out certain new topics where our audience tend to let give us new topic they want us to answer by our respected speakers definitely. So for the next week we'll bring up something new topic for our audience where it will be fruitful, as Miss Ridhika Agarwal, she has definitely pointed or highlighted so nicely with all about active listening, with all about emotional development. And I hope this webinar has been really fruitful to everyone. And the last week webinar we have already conducted about career assessment, decoding your career. So, related to that, everyone, you can check up our YouTube channel for that and definitely subscribe to our channel and our other social media account. So, Miss Ridhika, you want to say something in the end or anything you want to share about your childhood experience regarding validating how your parents validated your emotions, basically?
Yes, there are a lot of instances. Before I share my personal thing, there is a small tip or say a message to every young parent or be a parent to elder kids. Like for emotional well-being development, it's very important how you play an important role in your child's life. So be there, validate their feelings, and the comparison thing or unhealthy compromising should not be there. Like we have seen people, parents saying वो बड़ा है ना उसको दे दो, वो छोटी है ना तुम उसका बात क्यों नहीं मान रहा. So these things, if there is a sibling rivalry going on, if you say that time, I feel the other child may feel unvalidated or something. You can place a logical reasoning, discuss with them about the consequences. You can have a family time, or you can have a quick fun chit chat with them, or you can have a play time involving everyone, or like you can be your child and you itself. But please make it in a healthy manner. It should not affect anyone's mental health that time. So it is very important that you compare your child with their older version to their newer version, and not by someone else, be it their sibling or a friend or a neighbor or some anyone it can be. And coming back to my personal life, yeah, okay, yes, I feel a lot of time I was validated. So it was a very small example what happened. I was really upset because when I just passed my class 10, I really wanted to get into Don Bosco, so this Pan Bazaar one. Okay, so that time what happened, I don't know, it was a mistake from the authority, or I misread my spelling or something. I thought that I didn't got it to the list. Okay, so I was feeling very sad about it, but it was something very normal, because if not this school, I can get into that school. The course where the curriculum were same, but for me that particular school was important. It may not be for others, right? So that time I had my dad with me, and he said, no, it's okay. Even if you didn't got it here, we'll try to get into some other school more like which has been suiting your curriculum, but my head was still there, right? So I was crying a whole night. No, I want to get this. So he actually validated that time. He talked to me. What happened? Why? What was the cutoff? Or what happened to the situation? He actually went to the college, and then I got to know that I my name was there, but actually it was misspelled or miswritten. I don't know the exact thing. And that time I really, because at that night when I was crying knowing to the fact that I have not been enrolled there, that was something very hurtful for me. And that time having someone to validate my feelings and then making efforts to get it to me was something very appreciable. So I feel if you like do this kind of things, it was a coincidence, but it at that time I didn't know that my name was there, right? So it mattered to me a lot. So if you are with your child, they do not have to lie to you, or they will not feel fear to share their feelings. Of course your child should come first before anyone else. I do not want any child to do something by forcement or by disciplinary rules, but actually they should know the reason behind that. And of course their feelings and their mental health should be taken care of.
Yes, yes, true, true. So mental health is one of the most important thing,
Yeah.
right? Because that will affect everything, every dimensions of our lives. So yes. So yeah, like regarding the validation of emotion, for me, I don't remember any kind of childhood experience, but as I am appearing for many exams currently, so might be I am totally sad. I may not show my emotions or like, but sometime my friends, my near and dear ones, my close people, they actually get to know that, like it's okay, you can go for the next attempt. Like such kind of situations help in growing, or like it gives a field to embrace oneself. Like it can happen, certain situations can happen, right? Yeah, basically that. So
It's a
um
saying also, it's okay to be not okay. Yeah.
yes, yes, thoroughly, yes. So I guess to all the parents and to be parents, definitely embrace your child's emotional development, because your child is important. Your child comes first than anyone else, right, Ritika? So yeah, so basically on that, we'll end our live session for today, and we will catch up to our audience next week for sure. So thank you, good night, and have a nice time with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you, Ritika, for being with us, giving us your time, sharing your important knowledge with us, with our audience, because awareness is one of the thing, right? So it's the most important thing right now, because people are not aware about many topics. So thank you, Ritika, for that.
Thank you, Lisa, for having me. And of course, all the best for your upcoming exams.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Bye bye. Take care. Yeah.